Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd, and I'm Todd. And we're going to do a request. The request comes in from a YouTuber that goes by the name of Kyle B. Kyle commented on my reaction video to Epica performing the song Unleashed. Kyle B writes, "Speaking of the drummer, would you like to hear a song written by him? Epica, a Phantasmic Parade, official European Principle Tour after movie." So that's the request. So I never heard of the song A Phantasmic Parade, and I wanted to know a little bit more about it. So I went to Wikipedia. I know it's not the greatest source, but like they have just about everything in the world in it somewhere. So it turns out that that song is from the album Holographic Principle, which came out in September of 2016. Mark Jansen wrote a little bit about what that album was about. He writes, the holographic principle deals with the near future wherein virtual reality has taken off and allows people to create their own virtual worlds, which can't be distinguished from reality as we know it. This raises the question whether our current reality is a kind of virtual reality in itself, a hologram. So that was kind of interesting that that's what this album is about. So they actually list the songs and give a little bit of information about each song. Now, there isn't a lot of information about this particular song, but what is said is that A Phantasmic Parade was inspired by the movies Inception and The Matrix. Now, I've seen The Matrix. I don't think I've ever seen the movie Inception. The song is basically about the Matrix and the idea of manipulating your dreams to create new realities, which fits into the theme of the album. So that's kind of cool. So here we go. We're going to watch a live presentation of Epica doing the song A Phantasmic Parade, written by the drummer. Here we go. Okay, wow. That started out pretty heavy, pretty heavy. I'm wondering though, is this actually a live version of the song, or are they taking the album version, which I've never heard before, so I've never heard this song, and laid it over live performances of Epica? Because Simone's vocals, it sounds like they're either double tracked or there's another female vocalist singing along with her. There's a choir in here that's singing along. You hear some string instruments. I really don't see that on stage, although it's kind of dark, so it's hard to tell. But it almost sounds like this is kind of the album version dubbed over live performances. I could be wrong on that because, like I said, I've never heard the song before, but that's what it sounds like and that's what it looks like. Needless to say, though, it's a cool song. I mean, it is heavy, and what I really always liked about Epica, and this is a newer song by them, 2016. What I always liked about Epica is they were really symphonic. I mean, they were really symphonic metal, and that's there's a lot of symphonic metal groups that kind of drift off into other genres, and Epica kind of stays true to that symphonic sound where Simone is kind of using her operatic voice, and you've got a choir usually behind them, a lot of string instruments, violins and cellos, giving it that kind of symphonic sound, and then that heavy drumming. I mean, the drumming is always so heavy in these Epica songs, and you can hear it in this one too. And then you've got the keyboards and the very loud, heavy metal type of guitar. But this is a great song. It's just somebody's got to tell me if this was live or not, because I don't know. It just doesn't appear that way with all the other vocals that are going on in this particular song. But it's great. I mean, the video is awesome, but the song is even better. So let's get back into the song, see where it goes. And here we go. Okay, that was pretty wild. That was pretty wild. The middle section, when they went into the instrumental break, it almost sounded a little live. I mean, they there's some crowd noise in there, and they were really going nuts on the drums. I mean, the drums. What I really liked is he's hitting those drums, and I don't know if he's got if he's hitting his his bass drums with his foot pedals, and then hitting like the tom toms at the same time. But then they have the light show going off to however the drum is playing. I think that is so cool. He's hitting those drums really, really hard, and that light show is just going crazy. That is just so neat. And that was like in the last video that I did by Epica, where they did that same thing, which is wild. And their pyrotechniques are just wild. I mean, those flames are coming out of the stage as this thing's going on. I mean, they put on a phenomenal show. There is so much going on that stage, and then the music is so heavy, the drumming is so heavy, and then Simone's voice is just dynamite. I mean, she's got such a great operatic voice, and I think that's what's killer about this band, is her operatic voice is just so hot. And then Mark was doing his kind of growling in there as well. They had the one part where they came out of the instrumental break, and then he's doing his growling, which was cool too. Normally, you know, from what I've seen from Epica, most of their songs at least have a little bit of Mark doing his growls, which is cool too. But again, it kind of threw me. It's kind of like if they really did have that choir and the strings on stage, they didn't show them. Where I've seen other videos where they were actually shown on the stage. So I'm kind of lost whether this was actually live or if this was the album version that was placed over the top of different portions of live concerts. Either way, it was a great song. I mean, it's just from the beginning, it just was wild. They came out and they just played heavy metal, and that was great. I loved it. Great song by Epica. Wonderful vocals. Simone's vocals are just great. I like it when they're swinging their hair all over the place. I think that's cool too. They just do a great show, and that's really what's really important here is their music and how they perform for the audience, and the audience just loves them. I mean, they were all up there, you know, giving the peace sign and whatever else type of signs. It was great. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed the recommendation of Epica doing the Phantasmic Parade. If you did like this, hit that like button. If you have any comments about Epica and the Phantasmic Parade, put it in the comments below. That'd be really cool. And if somebody could tell me, was this really live or was this Memorex? That'd be great. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really, really appreciate it. And then go over here and hit that bell for updates to my latest videos. I loved it. Put a big smile on my face. Great song. Like I say, I've always really liked Epica. They just have a really good, hard, heavy metal sound done to symphonic sounds. Just great stuff. So I hope put a smile on your face, and peace out, baby.